Okay, so we discussed about the architecture the other day. So today we will discuss about the components of the architectures and we'll talk about each of those one by one. So I
Okay.
think briefly we discussed about all the components of the architecture. So mostly the basic components of an Informatica architecture are domains, nodes, application services,
Oh,
core
service.
services, and service manager. Okay, and clients and admin console are also a part of the architecture wherein you download or you install the client separately, and admin console would be available to you. It's a web console for to access the complete domain through a web console through an HTTPS port. So that is available when you install, when your services are when your server is installed and you have your Informatica services running, then you can access the admin console and create the services and the other things.
Okay.
Okay, that you'll see when we will do the installation. So how to create the services one by one we'll see.
Sure.
Okay, so first let us talk about the concept of domain, and let us see the different domain properties which we have in the admin console. We'll have an overview of the admin console and we'll see what are the different properties which we have, or what are the different things which we can control within the domain.
Okay.
Okay, so let me log into the admin console here first. Yeah, so when you select this one,
Yeah.
you can go for Windows 10 Pro. That's what
Okay.
I have selected, Windows 10 Pro,
Okay.
and an 8 gig RAM.
Mm-hmm.
2 CPU is mandatorily they will give anyhow,
Okay.
and you can select the standard CPU type, which will cost less, like instead of going for the other ones, and we can
Oh,
go for a simple HDD instead of the SSD. So
okay.
8 gig RAM
Yeah.
will be fine, and others will be like basic properties.
Okay.
So let me see if anything else I have done.
The
Okay, so
disk
apart
you
from
said
the,
is
sorry,
you said like the disk should be at least 100 gigs, something like that, right?
yeah, gigs, 100 GB disk I had selected.
Okay.
It's showing, let me see. In the disk section, data disk. Standard HDD size, by default it gave 128, I think 127.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank you.
okay.
Yeah. I'll set. I'll at least like help out like doing that.
Yeah, sure,
Yeah.
yeah. So
And
once that system is ready, then we can install.
yeah. Thanks, Ajay.
Okay, that's fine, Kavita. Okay, so let us continue with this.
Okay.
So if you go to the admin console, we'll see the domain properties one by one, and we'll go through these objects one by one. Like we'll see domains, nodes, and other properties one by one. So
Okay.
now any of these properties, if you want to change, or if you want to do setup, if you want to set up anything, if you want to change the properties of the domain, if you want to add a new node, if you want to create a grid, now all of these can also be done through the command line. So we are doing it from the console. We will also do it through the command line. So we'll have a session on the command line utilities after we go through the properties. Okay, so there
Mhm.
some of the basic commands we'll see, and
Okay.
means I will list out the commands which I use along with their syntax and usage, so you can
Mhm.
refer it and can have it handy during the while using it in your projects also.
Okay.
Okay, so for Windows or in Unix, whether you use it in Windows or Unix, the command is the same, and the path where that command utility lies, that is also the same. Okay, so
Okay.
uh, in Windows or in Unix, the syntax doesn't change, it's the same. So you have to just use the command in
Mhm.
the respective command line, that's it. So it's as a
Okay.
batch or as a shell.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, so when you come into the domain properties here in the admin console, what you see is all your services and all your properties, all your objects are inside that domain. Okay, so your services, licenses, node, and grid, all these things you'll find inside your domain. In a fresh and a new installation, you won't find any of these. You'll only find the system services and the license. Other things we have to manually create one by one. Okay,
Okay. Okay.
when you install it in a node, so your node will also be there. When you do the installation, you'll see that three things you'll find. The system services will be there, the node will be there, one single node where you installed, and the license will be there.
Okay.
Okay, so if you want to create anything as a new service, or you want to create a new integration service, repository service, any service, you go to the actions and create it new, and create a new node, create a new grid, create any of the services,
Mm-hmm.
or you can create a folder. So when you create a folder, you can arrange some objects inside it. Like I can create a folder inside my domain so that I can segregate my nodes or services based on the functionality, or for a
Mm-hmm.
better usage, I want to segregate them inside certain folders. So I can do that. Like let us say the node one and the grid one, I want to keep under one folder with my Power Center services, and other services I want to keep on the other folder. So what I can do is I can create a folder called Power Center. Okay, now inside this I can put my integration service, move to folder, basically move to folder. I can keep my, this is just arrangement of folders. So if I inside the same folder, if I want to keep the repository service, whichever is related to Power Center, if I
Mm-hmm.
want to shift there, I can just move it all to
Okay.
those folders. Let us say
Oh,
these two services I want to keep inside the Power Center folder. This is just
okay.
for arranging the services, because there will be
Okay.
so many services inside one domain. If you want to
Mm.
arrange it, like your Power Center service
Okay.
are here inside the Power Center folder. Now, those services are running in node 1. So you want to keep the node 1 there, or the grid 1. So any of these
Okay.
nodes or grids you want to keep inside this Power Center, you can keep it.
Mm-hmm.
Or your project wise folder you can create. If there are 2, 3, and for one project you are using some services, and for other project you are using some other services, so you can go with that as well. Like you can create your project wise folder and keep your services which are used for that particular project inside that, right? So basically
Okay.
the folder thing is there to arrange your objects.
Okay.
Now coming to the properties, now when you come to the main domain main admin console, the things which you can control is from here. You can see at the top, we'll go one by one.
Okay.
At the main manage tab, you have the permission management, you have the password changing, you have your upgrade button, and mostly the preferences. So that will help you some of the preferences, like show custom properties. You want to see the custom properties or not. Subscribe for alerts. Now subscribe for alerts is a property which is not used for Power Center. This is, alerts are not for Power Center. Okay, so if you subscribe for alerts, any warning or any failure while running your scorecard jobs. So in the Power Center, in Informatica, when you are using the Informatica developer tool, you run profile and scorecard jobs. Okay, so in those
Okay.
cases, when those jobs fail or those jobs encounter some issues, an alert needs to be automatically generated through the tool. Okay, so
Uh-huh.
for subscribing for those alerts, you have to select this option. Rest, this option is default as no. We don't
Uh-huh.
subscribe for alerts. For normal,
Okay.
if you're using a Power Center or Informatica data quality,
Uh-huh.
it's not mandatory to go for an alert. Okay, so only for some of the critical profiling and scorecarding jobs you use this. Custom
Uh-huh.
properties, show custom properties. So custom properties are some properties which is set by the Informatica global customer support. Okay, so this is means you will not have a list of custom properties handy with you, or you will not even find it in any of the Informatica documentations. Custom
Okay.
properties are some customized properties for a specific scenario or a specific case. When you inform the Informatica global customer support regarding one specific case, now let us say, I'll give you an example. Like one of my projects, when I was working connecting with SQL Server. Okay, so my source target, everything was SQL Server. And as you know, Informatica Power Center has some restricted connections with SQL Server. So Informatica works very nicely with Oracle or Teradata, these kind of, or PostgreSQL, these kind of databases. Okay, so when
Okay.
you connect Informatica to SQL Server is more compatible with its own Microsoft's SSIS ETL tool. Okay, so when you connect the SQL Server with Informatica, you will be able to process the data. That there's no not an issue in that. But while processing heavy data, right? And since there is something called a Windows authentication, when we connect to SQL Server, we don't need to authenticate every time. So we have a Windows authentication which it uses. If you are connecting to SQL Server, and on top of that, when you are using Windows authentication, there are some issues which occur on the network packets which are being created for processing the data. Okay, so for that, there is a custom property which Informatica knows, which Informatica Corporation has, which we don't know. When you face an issue, you will register an issue, or you will create a ticket with the Informatica Global Customer Support, and they will raise it for you. Like they will give that custom property to you, that use this property and set this value. So you have to use it. So if you want to use the custom properties, it is set as yes. So in every place there is a custom property. Whether you go to domain property or node property or any of the services, you have the custom property everywhere.
Okay.
So that is selected as yes. Overview tab on the domain tab, overview view on the domain tab, it's detail view. So you'll be in the domain, you'll be seeing a detail view. Now coming to these different tabs which we have in the console: manage, monitor, logs, reports, security, and cloud. So what each of these tabs helps you do, I'll tell you. Manage is managing your whole domain. Through this admin console, you're managing your whole domain. So when you come to the manage tabs, inside the manage, you have, if you come to this domain tab, here, this is the first page when you log in. So this domain tab inside the manage will give you a complete overview of your system services which are running. Inside this, what is running, how much of CPU usage is there, it will show you a dashboard at the initial page. So here itself, you will be able to see which service is running, right? And here also your service state, it will show you. If you want to see all states are only the available services or only the unavailable services, you can filter it out. What type of service you want to see. Now, let us say you are not worried about all the other services. You only want to see the power center services. So just click and see. Okay, so you have a complete list or the complete dashboard available in the first page. So you don't need to go into the specific page and select the particular option. From here itself, you can do. And if you want to see the legend, what does each of this tab mean? So you can see that. It will show you the legend here. Model repository service used to store historical data is not configured. I think we have the model repository service.
And one quick question, Ajay, here. Like I just got my Informatica access in my work, but I'm not able to see these tabs. Do we need specific permissions for that?
So you are able to log into the console, right?
Yes.
Then which tabs you are
This
able to see?
domain I'm not, dashboard, this dashboard I'm not able to see.
Okay, then which version of Informatica you are using? This is available
10.5
from 10 onwards.
or
Before
10.4.
10.4 it will be there. we don't need any special permission. The first time you log in, you land in this page only.
Yeah, I
Are you
land
sure?
in, but I'm not able to see. Yeah, I'm getting some errors. I'll
So
just check and
you're
I'll
getting
let you
the
know.
services and nodes page.
Services and nodes, I didn't check. I'll see it. Yeah.
Yeah, because
But as soon as I enter, I don't see this domain main dashboard. I'm able to connect with the security and able to view the permissions. But I don't know why I was not able to see this dashboard.
just check it once more.
Sure.
Might be that might be the browser issue also.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so if you're opening it in Internet Explorer or somewhere, that might be a browser display issue also,
Okay.
because you will be getting all these pages if you have access to the admin console, because you're logging in with the administrator privilege, right?
Yes.
Administrator user, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that should not be the case. So you should see all these pages. And because even if you don't see this dashboard page, right? Because that
Mm-hmm.
is fine. You are not
Okay.
controlling anything from here, but this page should be there, services and
Okay.
nodes, because all your properties will be changing from here. Yeah,
Okay. I just got the access today. I'll check tomorrow.
just check it through Firefox or Google Chrome, anywhere.
I
If
tried
you can
through
change.
Chrome. I tried through Chrome. I'll
Okay,
just do
then
that.
try through Internet Explorer. Just change the browser and see whether
Yeah.
you're getting it.
Sure, I'll do that.
Okay, so in this dashboard, you'll find all these options, and you have the actions button here. That's for help. On the right hand side, you see the service state summary. So you have a donut chart of how many services are available, how many are disabled. You have the
Mm-hmm.
CPU usage, memory usage. So all these
Mm-hmm.
dashboard, whatever nodes and grids you are using, that is also there. What is
Okay.
your node name or grid name? Sometimes we have confusion, right? So what is
Yes.
the name of my node, or what are the basic properties of my node? If
Mm-hmm.
you want to see this, just hover your
Okay.
mouse around your node, you'll see the name of your node, and also how many processes are running in this node, and this node is part of which grid. Everything it will show as a summary. You can see, you don't need to go into the node properties and see. Here only you hover around this and you'll
It
see.
will show. Okay.
Similarly for everything, like if you go into any of the service, I want to check where my repository service is running, just hover, it will show you
Mm-hmm.
your repository service is, the primary node is node 1. If you have some backup node, that will also show you here, but we don't have a backup node because we don't have a high availability license. When we talk about high availability, we'll learn about what is primary and what is backup nodes. Yeah,
Okay. Okay.
so we'll go into the concept of nodes. Right. So from this domain page, you see that all of these services are available. Now you can go into these services and you can see the properties. If you go into the view properties, it will directly take you the property page of that service. So no need
Okay.
of coming here and going into that service. From the domain page itself, you can go directly. Also,
Okay.
if you want to view the history or view logs or view dependencies or recycle, enable, disable service, anything you want, you can do it from the main page here at the dashboard page as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so if you do a view history, cannot display history events because MRS is not configured to store historical data. So okay, so fine, it will not able to, that service is not able to show the history.
History. Okay.
Okay, so integration service, if you want to see the history, historical events, not able to store historical data. Fine, so we don't have the historical data, but
Okay.
any other thing if you want to see, let us say that you want to view the logs.
Yes, we can.
It directly takes you to the logs page. Okay,
Okay.
we'll come to the logs page. So it
Mhm.
directly takes you to the integration service logs. So when we come to the logs from there, only the integration service logs will be shown to us.
Okay.
Now from this logs, you can explore the things. At what time, what happened when it tried to connect, to which node, this integration service, when it got started, through which user ID. All the information are there in the logs. Now, if you do a view dependencies, this is an important thing, or this is an interesting thing here. When in the console, when you choose to see the dependencies from the domain page, it will be more clearly visible to you which service is related to which node. Now, you don't need to go into each of the services and check what is the relation. Now, one service can be running in multiple nodes.
Multiple nodes. Okay.
Okay, and in a grid as well.
Okay.
Okay, so this thing, the picture will be clear from here that your service is running in this node. Okay, and what all services are running in a particular node, that also can be seen if you go to the node dependencies.
Okay.
Okay, so at different level, you can see these service dependencies.
Okay.
Okay, so you can see on the right hand side, we are able to see the service details as well. Which node it is running, this integration service, what are the associated nodes, and what is the service process state. The service process is available.
Okay.
So you can recycle service from here. It will restart your service basically, and disable service will just disable your service. So all these options are available directly in the first page itself. So you can do it for your services also and for your nodes also. The services, now for all of your services, it will give you that. Now if you come to the nodes, for your nodes also, you can shut down your node, bring down your node. You can view the dependencies of your node. You can view the history of your node. If you click on view history, it will show again MRS is not storing it, so fine.
Okay.
You'll be seeing the history of your node and other things, the dependencies. If you see
Properties.
which all nodes is running this, how they are related. Now this node is part of which grid, and inside this node, what all services are running. So everything is visible to you from one single page.
Okay.
Now you can shut down your node and grid also from this particular page. Okay. So now while managing the domain, you might need to change the other properties as well. So come to the second tab, services and nodes. Here you will get a detailed view of the properties of each of these. Okay, so at the domain level, if we are there, domain related properties if we talk about.
Okay.
So from here we can change the domain related properties. Okay, so the properties are mostly related to how the domain is storing your metadata, and of how the domain can be started when the connection is lost, and what kind of resilience it is happening, so it is doing. So we'll talk about the resilience as one of the very critical property of Informatica's architecture. So when we talk about high availability, there are three things which comes into picture. Okay, resilience,
Okay.
restart, and recovery.
Okay.
Okay, so these three should be satisfied. When we talk about high availability of any system, there are three R's: resilience,
Oh,
restart, and
restart.
recovery. So you'll find these resilience, restart, and recovery related properties in your services also, in your domain also. So
Okay.
resilience means how much resilient it is when it is connecting to the other services. Every
Okay.
single service is connecting to the domain. So if the connection is lost, then how much resilient
Yeah.
it is to the loss of the connection.
Okay.
How much time it will keep trying to connect, right? So that is the limit on the resilience timeout. So we'll talk about this. Restarting is if something goes down and it tries to restart automatically, then how many times it will try to restart, and till what time it will try to restart.
Okay.
Okay, so those properties will go in detail when we talk about resilience. So main database properties are here. So the first properties are your general properties related to your resilience timeout and your dispatch mode. So these properties I'm not going into detail now, because we will talk about the high availability, right? So we'll talk about the dispatch mode, and load balancing is there. So when we talk about
Okay.
those, I'll tell you something about how internally Informatica dispatches the jobs. Okay.
Okay.
So we have the DB properties here. So what database you have already used, if you want to make a change to that, you can do that here.
Okay.
So let us say currently you are using a DB Oracle and you want to shift to SQL Server, right?
Okay.
So you want to migrate your database, your domain to another database. So that is kind of a migration that will come activity. If you are migrating your database to completely different database,
Mhm.
you're shifting from one DB to another DB, then it's a migration. That means your other things will get impacted. You're changing your database, right? So there are certain steps which we need to take care when we do a migration. Okay, so we'll have to take a backup of our domain. If you go into actions, okay, so domain backup we can take from the command line. I'll show you how to take the backup of the domain. So from the
Okay.
command line, we need to take a backup of your domain, and we want to restore it in the new database when the new database is created. So we'll take a backup and we'll bring down all these services which are attached to this domain. Okay, basically we'll shut down the domain and the other database will be upright. So that means we have to change the database properties. So there is a command to connect your DB to your update your DB properties. Okay, that
Okay.
is one thing. Or what you can do, you have to run the installer again. You run the installer again. Okay, so there it will ask you for upgrading the domain, right? So
Okay.
upgrade your domain or changing the domain. The option will be there when you run the installer. Generate a new, create a new domain or upgrade a domain. It will show you. So we are going to upgrade the domain to a new database, right? So sometimes it happens that we are using a lower version of database. We want to shift to a higher version. So a lot of things will change there. The host name will change, port numbers will change, and your service strings which you are creating for the database, that might change. So all those things you have to update it here, right? So
Okay.
if you are doing that, then you can run the installer again for a recreation of the domain metadata objects in the new database. Or if you just want to restore the domain metadata which you already had, which you have taken the backup, then no need to go through all those steps. You just bring down your domain. Okay, and after bringing down your domain, there is a command which you need to run, and you will be able to,
Connect to the database.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so let me just give you a detailed view of what we might want to do. Yeah, I'll share this with you. Okay, so when you want to update your domain database connection with new database user ID or password, just you shut down your node, and there is a command called infra setup update gateway node command. Okay, so when you
Okay.
run that infra setup update gateway node, you'll have some parameters wherein you will give and you'll give the new database details and it will update it. Okay,
Okay.
so the domain related activities, when you do a domain configuration, then you need to, for the domain configuration, whenever you do a new domain configuration and you want to change your current domain configurations, these steps are very important. You back up your domain, you restore your domain, you can you might have activities to upgrade your migrate your domain, or sometimes the DB connection details might be updated for each of the nodes, or sometimes we configure the custom properties. These are the main activities we do as a part of domain configuration when we are an admin.
Okay.
So when you take a backup and you want to restore it, then what you will do, you disable services in a complete mode, you shut down the domain, you run the infra setup restore domain command.
Okay.
Okay, and you associate a new host and port to the node in the domain if you have disassociated right? So you have a command infra setup, define gateway node, define worker node. Okay, so let us say you have a host number and port number for your nodes have changed.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you want to
Okay.
assign it to the domain, right? So
Okay.
you use this command infra setup, define gateway node or define worker node. Now the
Welcome.
concept of nodes we have not yet discussed. That means there are two types of nodes, gateway node and worker node. So
Mm-hmm.
when all of those are done, then we'll come to the domain configuration and see these things, right? So once the overview is done and we discuss about the nodes and everything, then we'll see
Mm-hmm.
what all activities we do at the domain side, right? So
Okay.
going now there is not, you will be confused because we don't know the command line utilities now, and we also don't know about nodes, right? So now we'll not go there. We'll just have an overview of what all things you get in the console. Fine.
Okay. Uh-huh.
So in the domain page, you will see all your domain properties, how many nodes are running, service levels and all. Again, I have to discuss. So just let us take an overview of how we'll be using the command line, and then I'll go to each of these later.
Oh, okay.
In the resources tab, for all the resources which are available in this domain will be shown to you. Now these resources are automatically allocated when you install the domain. In the permissions tab, which users and groups you have, which users are there, which groups are there, which roles are there. Okay, you have users, groups and roles. Now
Roles.
what permissions they are having, that will be displayed to you as an overview here. If you want to
Okay.
go ahead and change some of the permissions for a particular user, you'll have to go to the security tab and create the user and edit the user and change the properties. Fine. This is
Okay.
about your inside the domain, which group and user is having an access to that domain.
Okay.
Diagnostics page. So a diagnostic report at certain intervals. Okay, so when you have this diagnostics ready, right? You see the file
Mm-hmm.
name CSM agent dwbi.xml. If you click on
Excellent.
this file
Mm-hmm.
in the web itself, it will open. Okay.
Okay.
Now one second. Let me, why I'm showing this file is, I'll tell you once where is this file useful. Now in basic
Okay.
normal cases, you won't find this file useful.
Mm-hmm.
C Oracle XE is the parent use host name adapter. Okay, so this today only it has been generated. So this diagnostic file basically is used. That you can see there's something called CSM agent, right? So this
Yes.
CSM is mostly responsible for analyzing your nodes. Okay. Now,
Okay.
whenever you have some issues with your nodes and you want to do a detailed analysis in that particular uh, node, that what has been the issue and what happened. So if you want to do I want to see this file path actually. You want to do a detailed analysis of this one, then this XML file, you have to upload it in the support portal. If you go into, so it's very important for you to register in the Informatica support portal. Now, as a administrator, when you start working, I would
Uh-huh.
suggest go into the Informatica network.informatica.com. Okay, and register yourself in the support portal.
Okay.
Okay, so you have several resources available from Informatica site. So if you go into the network.informatica.com, here you will find several communities where you can register. If you want some documentations, you can go to the documentation tab, and there you will find many documentations. So better you sign up for this using this page. And what all resources are available, you see the product availability matrix is there and other things are there, right? So
Yes.
uh, velocity best practices, mapping templates, debugging tools, so a lot of things are there. In the knowledge base, whenever you encounter any kind of failures, you go to the knowledge base and try to access it.
Okay.
Okay, so in the resources, one second. Okay, so this is for the Informatica Global Customer Support.
Mm-hmm.
So you can visit all these pages through the network.informatica.com if you want to access your product availability matrices or documentation, or if you want to go into the knowledge base, right? So if you have some issues, you type in,
Mm-hmm.
you get almost all the issues, general issues, generic issues which anybody has encountered is a part of the Informatica community. So the solution to that particular issue and the root cause of a particular issue is already mentioned. So instead of searching it in Google, you can first go to the Informatica knowledge base, and there you
Okay.
can search your issue, right? So that will be the best way to resolve it, right? Instead of going to the Google and searching and going to the certain pages, you can go directly to kb.informatica.com. It's a knowledge
Okay.
base, and there
Mm-hmm.
you'll find the resolutions to the issues.
Okay.
Okay, so all of these are part of network.informatica.com, but your support is a part of directly the Informatica. It's not part of the network.informatica. You have to go to the support page directly through the www.informatica.com, their main page. So
Okay.
why I'm showing this is because you need to register yourself with Informatica Corporation with your organization's ID,
Uh-huh.
so that whenever you have the issues, right,
Uh-huh.
there you'll raise a ticket, and then they will be responding to your ticket from there.
Okay.
So
Is it
you're going to
mandatory
be
to give our organization ID, or we can give our personal ID too?
personal ID. It won't allow for customer support. In
Okay.
network.informatica, you can give your personal ID and register. Like if you want to
Okay.
access the documentations, or if you want to access the other things, right? Knowledge base, those things are available. If you want to go through some trainings,
Uh-huh.
trainings are not, some of them are freely available, some of them are not. So if you want to go through those documents
Okay.
and training related documents, certification related things, you can go into all of
Mm.
those through network.informatica.com. There you can
Okay.
have your personal registration. But if you want
Uh-huh.
to go to Informatica support,
Okay.
right,
Mm-hmm.
that one is not allowed from personal normal IDs.
Okay.
But I think that even the normal registration, if you do from a personal Gmail or some email ID, they will reject it. Like you won't be
Okay.
able to. So you have to do it through your organization's ID.
Okay.
Informatica network only. So I think we were not in the correct page. See, customers can contact GCS through the Informatica network page. Okay, so let us go through here. Let's see. Okay, so in the network page, if you sign up, then you will get the. So here, if you go, you can see change request tracking. So forget that. Product availability matrices. Okay, so this space is
Mm-hmm.
for any of your versions. When you're installing, when you want to check what thing is supported and what is not supported, you need the product availability matrix. Okay, now if for your Informatica, if you want to check 10.4 what is supported and what is not, then you go through
Okay.
this. You can see the PAMs are available for almost all categories.
Yes.
Anything you want to install. See, this is the PAM for Informatica 10.4. Now, if you're working on Informatica, 10.2. Okay, and you want to upgrade, you want to apply a hotfix, 10.2.1. Now,
Okay.
that also you'll find it here. Right? So for almost all the tools of Informatica, whether MDM or Power Center or any other tool, you find the PAM here, Product Availability Matrix.
Okay.
Okay. Fine. So you can go through here and you have the GCS quick start, right? Your upgrade planners and upgrade guides will also be there. Customer support guide is there, how to contact the customer support. So from here you can create your tickets actually. So if you access this guide, it should be able to take you to how to create a ticket and all those things. Okay, so you can access this and you'll come to know how to create a ticket with GCS. When you create a ticket with GCS, then they will revert back to you with their solution, right? So this is why this one is very important for you to have a registration here, so that any issues or anything can be directly raised with the GCS team, that is Global Customer Support team. And that's why when we raise it with the Global Customer Support team, right? So in the admin console, we saw the CSM agent, right? So for identifying the issues within a node, we need the CSM file. So they'll ask you for uploading the CSM files. Okay. So that particular file, which I showed you, .xml file, can be directly downloaded and uploaded in the page where they're asking for it.
Okay.
Okay. Now plugins, come to the plugins page. Plugins is nothing but it will automatically the adapters which are available with your license. It will show you everything. What all plugins are available with your Informatica now. What all things you can do with your Informatica Power Center now. You can connect to Twitter. You can connect to Teradata, SFDC, SAP BW. You can connect to Parquet, Power Exchange. So all these things, versions as plugin are supported with this Informatica version. That means this Power Center version can connect to Amazon Kinesis, can connect to Amazon S3, can connect to a flat file parser, can connect to Hadoop, JSON. So all these things are already available with your license, and which all licenses of these Power Exchange connectors are there. Adapters plugins are available. That is also given here. So from here you can have a quick check what is supported in your license. Like if somebody says whether your Informatica can connect to JSON files or not, then the license is there. We have the basically it's supporting the connection, right? But might be that the license is not there, but this particular version is supporting a connection to JSON files. So today, if I'm using this Power Center, if I want to connect to JSON, will I be able to? Yes, but only when I have the license for that. As I purchase the license for that. Might be that JSON is not supported in the basic standard license which we have. We cannot connect to JSON parsers. We want the Power Exchange for JSON. This is supported by my version, but I don't have the license. That might happen. So these all plugins is available with this Power Center version, but works only when the license is purchased.
Okay.
Monitoring configuration. This is basically a overview or a high level overview of your configuration. So here you can see your model repository service, which is created, how many 180 days, summary historical data, detailed historical data 14 days. Okay, so this is for your model repository service. This particular things will take place, this is by default setup, that it is going to purge the statistics every one day at every day at 1 a.m.
Same.
Okay, and 180 days it will preserve the historical data, summary data, detailed history it will preserve for 14 days. So that is the default configuration of MRS.
Okay.
Now when we come to connections, here we can create and configure some connections. So this is basically the connections, common connections which your services will be using. The connections, if you want to create it at a domain level, which you want your services to use, right?
Mhm.
The connections can be created from here. So if you want to go for a new connection, what kind of connection you want to create? Cloud connection, cluster connection. Okay, you want to connect to a database or an enterprise application or a file system. So different
Mhm.
types of connections, or if you are using some streaming data sets, like if you are trying to connect to Kafka or JMS, some streaming messaging systems, that if you want a connection to a NoSQL, if you want to connect to Twitter, LinkedIn, whatever your social media, so our social media connection should be created through the URLs, which is not allowed always without the license. So all these kind of connections can be created here in this page,
Okay.
right? So if you, let us say, if you want to go for an Oracle connection, okay, now let us say I name this connection as my source for Power Center,
Okay.
source underscore PC. Okay, and I know that I have a user called HR, which from where all my tables are available. Next, okay, so you'll give your DB details. My SID is XE. Test connection. Connection is successful with that user ID password. Next, environment SQL TSQL not needed because this is Oracle. TSQL support, if we need, that is for mostly for the SQL server. SQL identifier with a double quotes, that will be by default. Support mixed case identifiers, so it's fine. Enable parallel mode, so parallelism on the database side, if you want to enable, that you can enable, and finish. So this will be my new connection created here. Okay, so all
Okay.
your connections will be available. Now for your connections, if you want to change the properties, now what is the use of these connections? See, these connections, we create connections at the Informatica workflow level, right? And in another applications as well. Now there could
Mhm.
be some common connections which you can create at the domain level
Okay.
and use it for certain cases. Now I would give you some example. If you're using Power Center, there's no use of it. Means there's no need of creating these connections and using it. Why? In Power Center, how it works, you read the data, and
Mhm.
the data, the source and target definition which you create it in the designer tool. So when you create it in the designer tool, you directly
Mhm.
connect to that. Means you create the connections there itself. You create a DSN and connect it. And
Okay.
while running your job, you create a connection at the workflow manager level. Okay, so using that connection, your integration service runs the job. So in Power Center level, this might not be useful, but in
Okay.
certain cases, like when you set up your model repository service, when
Mhm.
you are setting up your metadata for your Informatica data quality tool, not for the Power Center tool, but for the data quality tool. Okay,
Okay.
so when you are setting up that particular metadata, it needs some kind of databases. It needs a separate database for storing all its profiling information. It
Okay.
needs a setup for a different database for storing all the run related information. Whatever job it is running, it wants to now save the runnable properties of all the objects into one table. And these all
Okay.
should be configured before you set up the metadata for the Informatica data quality. That is known as your MRS, Model Repository Service. Right? So
Okay.
those connections should be available to you at the domain level. Okay, so it can use that connection and create the metadata. So you
Okay.
can create those connections here. I just showed it to you how to create a connection. So whichever database details you will give, the same connection will be created. And these connections you can use while setting up your MRS
Okay.
or other services. Permissions to this connection will be like everything will be allowed, because this is an administrator user. We don't have any other user created. This is an administrator user. An administrator user will have all read, write, execute, grant permission on whatever connections you are creating. Okay. Yeah. So similarly, from here actions tab, you can directly assign or view the permission and edit the direct permission for these specific connection. One
Okay.
particular connection, if you want to change the property, you can go ahead and do that. Means change the permissions. Now, if you are at the properties tab and go to the connection, you can test a connection from directly from here. So test connection would be useful when you are doing some upgrade activity or your database password is getting changed. You can edit it and do a test connection and confirm that it's working fine. Okay, so you can do a test connection from there. Correct. Now coming to schedules, the connection is done. Scheduler service is not enabled. Fine. When it will be enabled, it will work. But what is this schedule all about? Again, this schedule is all about scheduling your profiling and dashboarding jobs, not
Okay.
about your Power Center job. So it's not equivalent to your workflow monitor. Workflow monitor is for monitoring your Power Center jobs. This scheduler, it automatically schedules your profiling or dashboarding jobs which you're creating, scorecard jobs which you're creating. Okay, so where do you create these profiles and scorecards? If you use the Informatica Analyst, there is a tool called Informatica Analyst. If you use that, there you will be able to do this.
Okay.
Right. So if you there might be an analyst service which I might have created earlier. This is the URL using which you can access the analyst tool. So in the Informatica Analyst tool, you see some profiling and scorecarding jobs are created. Profile and scorecard. Okay, so when
Okay.
these jobs are getting created, this will be scheduled in your admin console. So schedule for these jobs can be seen from this schedule.
Okay.
Now scheduler service is not enabled. So many things should be done, like your analyst service should be properly up. Whatever metadata your analyst service is accessing, that should be up. Then your scheduler service you can bring up. Now, when all of them are done, then see my scheduler service is disabled. You can go there and do a enable service. So let us
Okay.
see if this gets enabled. It might show you an error saying that your model repository service is not up or something of that sort. But if it gets started, then you can set a schedule there.
Okay.
Okay, it'll take some time. Let it take time. So we come to the monitor tab. Okay, again, monitoring is something which is associated to monitoring your scheduling, and monitoring are two different things. So scheduling is scheduling your jobs. Monitoring is monitoring your profile and scorecard jobs again. The
Okay.
summary statistics and execution statistics you won't be able to see because something if you have executed on ad hoc jobs or workflows in the last 4 hours or whatever history. If you have the history enabled, then you'll be able to unable to fetch reports because MRS is used to store historical data
Okay.
is unavailable. Please contact the administrator. So there is some issue with our MRS. MRS is the
Okay.
main metadata for all these profiling, scorecarding. If you are using the Informatica developer tool, that is your data quality tool, then you have to set up the MRS, which is the main metadata for that, the model repository service. If that is
Okay.
unavailable, or that is the settings or the properties is not properly set for that MRS, then the other services like DIS, analyst services, these will not be able to access that metadata. And that's the
Okay.
reason why we are not able to see any execution statistics. But this is the page, which is the monitoring page, right? So this will help you monitor your summary and execution statistics for your whatever jobs which have run in your using your data integration service. Again, nothing to do with Power Center here. If you're working
Okay.
as only Power Center administrator, then these tabs are not for you because you won't, it's not for a Power Center administration or something. This
Okay.
is for your data quality administration. Mostly you'll find your data quality jobs running here. Coming to logs. Now logs is generic for all services or anything you want to see. In the log tab, you will be getting a detailed log of at the for the domains, for the domain level, for each of the services also, for what the use each of the user has done that also, and a summary log also, which is your log aggregator, right? So aggregation will just give you like for any one level, like for the aggregated logs for the integration service is not generated, for the repository service also not generated. Probable scenarios when your service crashes or hangs,
Okay.
then it collects the aggregator logs, but we have to set like in the integration service, we haven't, in the node, we haven't, I think, set the log directory. So it's not showing us. It will compress the logs. You can set when you want to purge the log. You can export the log, right? So this is log aggregator. Now, apart
Okay.
from that, you want to see the detailed log. If you just want to see what issue happened in your domain, that means your domain log you want to access, you can see you have to select it on whether you want to
Okay.
see only the errors because there are 6 levels of tracing you can do. 6 level of logs you can see. Only
Okay.
fatal errors if you want to see fatal error, warning, info, trace, and debug. These 6 level of errors you'll always find it in each of the surveys. Everywhere you go here inside Informatica administration, you can see these 6 levels of the logs. Okay, so whatever you want to see, you just filter it out here. If you want to see only the info, then filter and click on the filter button. At the domain level, what all information is was there from the beginning, it will show you within the
Okay.
last day. This is we have selected for 1 day. Now last month or custom dates if you want to give, you give it. Now you want to see the logs for which particular component of the domain. Let us say you want to see the logs not for the complete domain, but you want to see what logs have been there in the for this service manager
Okay.
within last 1 day. If something is there, it will show you how the service manager started, where it started, all detail actually. You don't need this much detail. You need to focus on what you are going to specifically pinpoint. Like let us say your service got an error while enabling. You saw that your integration service is getting error while enabling, right? So you can go ahead and say that what error your integration faced in the last 1 day. You can just filter and see there's no error. So instead of last 1 day, what you can do is within last 1 month and do an enable filter within last 1 month. My integration service has seen these errors. Okay.
Okay.
So in the logs, you can go either at the domain level or you can go at the service level and see each of your services when they have failed, what kind of connection issues they had, everything you will get in the log. Now user activity. Okay, so here for the user activity for the administrator. No user activity means nothing has been created or dropped or permission changes, nothing has been done. So in last 1 month, there is one user which was created, ETL user, which was created long back. So that's why there is no activity in last 1 month. So for a particular user, if you have changed something, you have changed some properties or something, so it will show you here in the logs.
Okay.
Okay. Any user activity you have done. Coming to the reports. Now, what is this report? This is a license management report. So if you want to, like, let us say deployment level, because this is a production license which we download from the Oracle website. This is the standard. So there are 3 licenses of Power Center: standard, advanced, and premium. This is the standard license which Oracle gives us. Standard license. Okay. So here we'll
Okay.
get everything, almost everything which is needed for development. From an administration perspective also, 70-80% of the things we will get. Okay. Now in the advanced license, we have access to performance of some of the performance optimization related things like push down optimization. That property is available in the advanced version. Okay, if you want to connect to some kind of extra connections are available in the advanced version. In the premium version, we have a premium property that is high availability, which Informatica sells based with markets its product based on that property. That is available in the premium license, the high availability. And apart from that, some more things are available, like connection to JSON files, connecting to social media. All these licenses are available in the premium license. So 3 licenses. We are getting the standard license in this one. So what does your license support? What kind of license it is? How many cores it can support? How many repositories it can support? Everything is here. Now, if you want to check your license detail, here is where you come in your license management report and check it. Okay. The
Okay.
complete detail you will get. What is the name of your license? It never expires. CPU summary. There are 2 CPUs running. What is the operating system? What is the license number? How many repositories? Only 1. What is supported? Okay. Now this one gives you a list of node configuration. Yeah. So here, this is again a very important thing. This your node 1. What all service is running, whether it's a gateway or not. See, gateway
Okay.
is why all of them are gateway, because my node is a gateway, right? It's a gateway node. So it's showing you your IP address, this one, and your license,
Okay.
which is active, which is inactive, complete summary it's showing.
Okay.
Also in the options section, it will show you the licensed options. That means in my license, what all things I can access. See, status active, these all things I can access. This data profiling, mapping generation. I can run my job on multiple OS profiles, high availability, resiliency for core platform that is available, scorecards I can create, SQL data service I can use. I can recover my workflows using high availability. This is available. Complete high availability is not available, but this much is available. Now, Power Exchange, if I want to connect to SAP, that is available in this license. If I want to connect to Oracle e-business suite, it's available. Teradata connection, available. Okay, so whatever is here, this is part of your license. These many things you can do with your this license. Anything
Okay.
out of this is not available to you in your this license. Yeah. Now security tab, I'll just close the session now. Just be with me for 1 minute. Security, you can create users, you can create groups, and we will go into this security feature later, that what we are going to do, how to create users and groups and roles, all these things. You can have also multiple operating system profiles. Like in Windows, you have multiple users. Similarly, when you're working with Unix, you have multiple OS profiles where you can run your jobs, right?
Okay.
Like when you work in a Hadoop environment, in a Hadoop cluster, you have something called impersonation. Similarly, in Unix environment, if you are working, you can work with multiple OS profiles. 2 users, one user, one profile will be running one job, another profile will be accessing another job. That can be done. So you can configure your jobs to run in multiple profiles. So you can have your multiple profiles created. This is only for Unix operating system. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
OS profiles. Account management. This is basically an overview or a summary of how your accounts are getting managed. That means how many accounts are logged. Now this is for the administrator. Like at any point of time, if you get a ticket saying that just see how many users are logged out, just unlock all of them. So this will give you a summary of how many users are logged.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, how many users are unlocked, all those things, right? Now there could be two kinds of users, one having a native connection, native user, one having a LDAP connection, that
LDAP.
is LDAP
Okay.
user. So how
Mm-hmm.
many native users are logged, how many LDAP users are logged, that will be disabled to you. You just need to select all of them and unlock from this console, unlock user and reset the password. It's a easy thing, but a summary you will get here.
Mm-hmm.
Audit report. Now audit report is not for all types of, you can see if you want to see for user group association, you want to create an audit report for all your users, add all. So just see display on screen, generate report. So this is what it shows you. I
Okay.
selected how my users are associated to which group. Give me a complete report. Now instead of going into every user and checking the properties, this gives you a one single list. This is from your one point. You can check all your users, how they are related. Cloud organization is, this is a cloud setup. Like you can set up your cloud organization here. Now let us say you have a cloud account with AWS. So one link will be there through which you access the cloud portal of AWS or Azure. So you have to add
Okay.
it here. That's for cloud navigation. So add a username and password and create a connection for your cloud.
Okay.
So this is for cloud organizations, which you can connect to your jobs later. Like when you have a IICS running,
Mm-hmm.
Informatica cloud services, intelligent cloud services, when that is running. So where it is connecting to or what is the details of that connection, that you can set up here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so this is all about the overview of your console. Now we will tomorrow learn about nodes. We'll talk about nodes and the different properties of nodes. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, fine. Then we'll end the session for today. And any questions, I think we can discuss tomorrow.